My name is Ramon Perez, and you're listening to True North Country Comics.
Welcome to a special edition of the True North Country Comics podcast, dedicated to promote Canadian comic book creators and supporters. It's May 6, 2021. I'm John Swinimer. If you want to drop me a line, you can contact me at john@truenorthcountrycomics.com. These podcasts are published to celebrate the exhibitors at this year's virtual edition of the Toronto Comic Arts Festival. TCAF is an annual event gathering comic book creators from around the world to promote broad and diverse voices towards the betterment of the medium of comics through panels, keynote exclusives, and just basically enjoying the fun of comics. On this episode, I chat with Ramon Perez about R.A.I.D at TCAF 2021. This podcast is available on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. It's also available on the True North Country Comics channel on YouTube. I invite you to like and subscribe. Ramon is an established cartoonist, illustrator, and designer with over 2 decades' experience in the creative field. His work has been seen in Marvel, DC, Owl Publishing, R.A.I.D Studios, and more. His credits include the all-new Hawkeye, The Amazing Spider-Man Learning to Crawl, his adaptation of Jim Henson's Tale of Sand for Archaea Entertainment, and many more. He's a multiple Eisner and Harvey award-winning artist and has additionally garnered such accolades as the Honor Book and Official Selection 2008 Silver Birch Nonfiction Awards, Forward Review's 2010 Book of the Year Award, and the Schuster Award for Best Graphic Novel in 2012. Amongst numerous nominations for his collaborative works in children's literature, digital media, and comics. His most recent work includes Stillwater with writer Chip Zdarsky. The Royal Academy of Illustration and Design, R.A.I.D, is an award-winning artist collective located in Toronto's historic Parkdale. With a primary focus on comics and graphic novels, R.A.I.D is a creative ecosystem where artists can build their ideas, collaborate, and access varied expressive platforms. Through its network of creatives, R.A.I.D also operates as a scalable creative agency that offers expertise in creative concepts, idea development, and visual solutions involving illustration, design, animation, film, multimedia, and sequential art. And so, without further ado, here's my chat with Ramon Perez about R.A.I.D at TCAF 2021. Ramon Perez, thank you very much for taking time to chat with me.
My pleasure. How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you. And I hope you're holding out well yourself.
It's been not too bad. It's it's been a year of the pandemic and quarantining, but as most artists will tell you, it hasn't really changed our lives for the most part.
There you go. Getting more work done, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. It allows you to focus without the main distractions of social life.
Sure. Yeah. But speaking of work, I mean, congratulations on Stillwater. You've been doing with Chip Zdarsky. That's a very popular book.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm quite happy with the reception the book has received. It's been a great a year. Not quite a year. It's been about 8 months since the book premiered, I think. And it's been awesome. Our first trade just came out, I believe, last month, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And, it's been a growing fan base. So it's being my first creator-owned book. It's been awesome.
That's great. I was going to ask you, though, did it accomplish what you originally planned, what you and Chip set out to do, or did it change as it morphed, as different issues came along?
Well, I think it's interesting because this was Chip's concept. He, proposed it to Skybound. And so he had written about, I think if I recall, 3 issues and had plotted about 12 before I came on. And he did say that once I came on the project that he began to kind of reassess the later issues he hadn't written because he was now seeing the characters fully formed, visualized, things that definitely change how you interpret or how they might lead you into a different scenario. You know what I mean? So he said he definitely began to speed up the pace in certain areas, change how certain characters interacted a bit. So there's a little bit of adjustment there. And I think with the overall story arc, I think it just accelerated parts of it. And the bigger overarching, if you will be up to the fans to see how
right.
If the book maintains a solid readership, then we have some long-term plans. If not, then we can always still have a solid story, but with a nice finite ending.
There you go. Good stuff. Yeah. Well, more power to you, and hope you have great success for the future. It's a great series.
It's very fun to do.
Yeah, for sure. So we're here talking under the context of the Toronto Comic Arts Festival, and with that in mind, I'm wondering if you can relate to any favorite convention moment or moments that you like to talk about.
Oh, I mean, there's so many. There's the ones that you get on the con floor, the ones in the bar, the ones that we can't really talk about that happen, while you've had too many drinks, and then there's the ones that you're just as a chill out moment and the random encounters. I've been lucky. I've always had good experience at all the shows I've go to. I've had great fans. Some overly excitable fans that have surprised me with. I remember in one European show, one fan showed up with a bottle of wine, some cheese, crackers,
Wow.
And while I remember one show, I think it was in Chicago or Emerald City, I can't recall. I was just sitting there doing a commission, and this one fan just literally ran up and yelled how much he loved my work, and then just ran away. Like it was just like this. It was like this cartoonish event where I would just I looked up, something happened, and I was like, oh, it's over, but okay.
That's great.
But no, I've had such fantastic experiences, and then I've also had the opportunity to meet some great people, not only my peers but celebrities as well. I had the great chance to bump into Carrie Fisher once in a elevator.
Wow.
At Emerald, I think that was Emerald City as well.
Okay, yeah.
As we were back on our way to the hotel room, so it's just like little things like that kind of make your day. Because you don't have time.
No.
As a creator, sometimes to make it around to all the awesome things at a show. It's actually nice when you have a random encounter like that, where you're like, okay, you just have a little hello, a little moment, and then you're kind of on your way.
That's it. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that you're literally stuck there at a table or otherwise called away to talk at a
yeah. It's rare these days that I might have an hour or two on the Sunday, if you will, to actually experience the show or see something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless I have a specific mission or something, like if a friend's asked me, can you get me this exclusive toy at this booth, then I'll be like, okay, I'll wander the show, see a few things, say hi to people along the way, but I can say I've never lined up for anything or had the opportunity to see a panel or something at a show that I wasn't obligated to be on myself, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. So we're here talking about TCAF, and it sounds like you're going to be busy. What specific things will we be doing at the show this year?
Well, it's interesting because this year TCAF is doing a week-long online event rather than the the regular 2-day weekend with some stuff leading up to it. So it's a different approach, and I think it's an experiment. A lot of shows have been doing this over the pandemic to try to maintain a fan community. And so this year we've got a few things going on with TCAF, being one of our local shows that we do every year. We'll be part of their regular online store exhibit, if you will, where we'll be selling some of our books and that sort of thing. So that's kind of just like a given, as if we had a table. And we'll be leading off the show on Sunday, May 9th, with the Word Balloon Academy, as part of a series of panels. I believe they're doing 4 or 5. I don't have the final schedule yet, focusing on things that help, creators in the life of being a freelancer and an artist, and writer for that matter. And so we'll be doing a panel on Sunday called Do the Thing, which we've done a few times at different shows, basically revolving around time management and just kind of getting yourself motivated to work on the projects that maybe don't necessarily pay the bills, but you want to do them, and it's often kind of hard to kind of work those things in. But the stuff we are also applying to actually, or talking about actually also applies to just regular freelancing and making sure you don't get lost or drowned out in multiple contracts and commissions and whatever. So there'll be a few of us. There'll be myself, Kalman Andrzejowski, and Anthony Falcone discussing, how we all kind of approach the management of our time, basically, as freelancers. Like most of us have been doing, like myself and Kalman have probably been doing this now for 25 years or more, and a few of the other guys joining us on the panel are younger, but they're at it and they're working freelancers, and they often juggle paid work with personal work. So it's just kind of about sharing that knowledge base that we've accumulated over our careers, basically.
Yeah, very informative. I think that a lot of people get something out of that for sure.
Also, I think the things you learn, it's funny, the things you learn over a career, you don't really, you think everybody would know them, but you just, sometimes it's just great to just put them out there to help people along.
Right.
Yeah. And then at the end of the week, which is the 15th, we'll be launching our first Kickstarter as a studio in conjunction with TCAF. And this will be for R.A.I.D Press, which is kind of our offshoot publishing arm of our studio. And we'll be doing our first Kickstarter for Dax Gordon's Force Folk, which is kind of like an all ages, I call it a mashup of like Calvin and Hobbes with Looney Tunes.
Okay.
But it's his first volume, collecting the first 102 comic strips with some great back matter, pinups by other artists and that sort of thing. But we're excited to kind of have him lead off our campaign, our first campaign. So that would be the end of the week of TCAF.
Great. Yeah, I'm going to have a chat with him in the not too distant future. So looking forward.
No, I hope he can totally inform you much more about the comic, the Kickstarter, and everything in between.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and then during the week of TCAF will be actually the only live affiliate event happening during the exhibit week, and basically it'll be once again featuring the work of Dax Gordon in our Queen Street gallery at our new studio. So basically we've taken our current space and we've created a front end community facing gallery to showcase the sequential and illustrative arts to the public. And so he'll be our first show of 2021. We've kind of held off for now due to all the lockdowns, but we figured, we're on the cusp, hopefully, of being able to have people visit more often and feel more comfortable walking around the city and checking things out. And the gallery does have a cafe, so we've been actually open this whole time. People are coming in and checking out artwork on the walls as we speak. So we're going to be treating it more as sort of kind of walk through exhibit. Stop by, check it out. One or two people in the space at a time as you maybe grab a coffee or a snack.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I was there last year. That was my only real comic book related event. You did have an open house last year, and I thought it was a tremendous place. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that was the Cauldron exhibit, was it?
That's right, exactly. Yeah. So that's your new studio, and it's working out well for you?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I mean, obviously it's been quite the trial with with COVID and all this stuff happening, and right now we actually have construction up front, so it's vehicular access is a little bit more difficult, but pedestrian access is still okay. But we've been, charging through the pandemic, operating, and with a small crew here. We're still allowed to operate as a publishing house / media post-production place.
Right.
So, but it's been great. We love our new space. It allows for so much opportunity to not only engage with the public when we are able to, kind of fully open, but also a larger space where more members can kind of become part of the community and engage in their peers and also have like veterans and younger artists coming in and learning from each other. So
that's super.
Yeah, we're super excited. We're super excited. It's large, it's comfortable, and it allows for so many opportunities that we can't wait to try out once things kind of return to a normal scenario. Basically.
I'll be down there all the time once you get open for sure. Now, the other thing I want to chat with you about is R.A.I.D often does an anthology, and I'm wondering if you have anything planned for this year.
We do. We're basically embarking on R.A.I.D 4. We're doing a little bit of rebranding. We're going to be calling this one Klaatu as part of a trilogy of books. And we had planned to do it last year, but we just suspended everything because shows shut down and, well, everything shut down for the most part. So we felt there was just too much of a burden on everybody to try to deal with creating a book while also trying to maintain a lifestyle, or a life for that matter, during a pandemic where people were maybe not working as much, having a harder time earning money and that sort of thing. So we've taken what was originally supposed to be the book out in 2020, and we've kind of it's been great in a way because we've actually had time to rethink it and approach it in a fresher way. So we'll be launching it as a Kickstarter, which the first 3 books we paid for ourselves, but we thought it could offer some interesting opportunities by doing this on a Kickstarter, because we can offer more goodies along with the project, if you will.
Okay.
Not only in, like, for example, postcards or prints or whatever it might be, but also maybe extra pages, longer stories. If the book receives a larger amount of funding, we can add another 2 or 3 stories into the mix. So we're really excited to approach these books and kind of tell bigger and more, if you will, monstrous or exciting, bombastic tales. In the next 3 volumes, which are kind of actually giving more of a cohesive connectivity to. The first 3 books were kind of just us having fun, testing out the water, seeing what we could do. And now we're like, okay, we succeeded with those. We've learned from them what we can do, what we can't do. And now let's approach the next 3 with a kind of a stronger sense of what the books are, what they offer to creators, and what the public enjoys, So
Cool.
it's actually been a great, the weird step back of 2020, putting everything on pause has kind of really allowed us to shine a light on things in a new and refreshing manner. So
that's good to hear. Good to hear. Now, you mentioned the title Klaatu. Is that for the Canadian rock group from the 70s, or the character from the 1951 movie The Day the Earth Stood Still?
It's from the 1951 movie, but I bet the band stole it from there as well.
Yeah.
Basically, we're calling our next trilogy of books Klaatu, Barada, and Nikto. So basically,
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So each one, and then we're having kind of a larger than life kind of theme with these books. We want them to grow with the audience participation and hopefully Kickstarter backing. So we hope these books will be monstrous and gigantic, and we really want to showcase not only R.A.I.D talent, but we're actually looking to expand these to showcase Canadian national talent.
Really very good.
Give an opportunity to creators that maybe don't have the opportunity to get their work published, try something maybe different than what they normally do if they are a published kind of creator. So really just say, hey, come here, have some fun, get your stuff published, and we'll take care of the rest. And really just have it showcase some amazing talent across the board.
That's super. Great opportunity there. So you've been talking about a lot of different projects, but I'm wondering if there's anything you can talk about that's coming down the road. What's next for you?
Well, I mean, to be honest, Stillwater is keeping me very busy. So I just started, or not just, I'm about halfway through the second arc of the storyline. And that's going to be taking up most of my year. But I do have some other fun things planned throughout the year. I mean, obviously, there's always weird things that'll come up here and there that I'm
sure,
will be pleasantly surprised by. But I am doing, I don't know how much I can say about this one because it hasn't been officially announced yet. But it will be an image book. I'll be doing 1 volume as part of a 6-volume series.
Nice.
Kind of around the history of jazz. So,
wow.
Yeah, so I'm really excited by this one. The authors are amazing. The content is amazing. I'm a huge fan of jazz, especially of the era I'll be illustrating.
Cool.
And so I'm really looking forward to tackling this one.
Yeah.
And since I'm only doing one issue, it's 48 pages, and it kind of allows me to give that one issue all the love instead of having to worry about doing, a 6 or 8 issue miniseries.
Right.
So I'm super excited about that one. I think there'll be, I believe they're going to be announcing it sometime in July or August with a planned release date of the fall sometime. I don't know. I don't have exact dates for it yet. But that's
cool.
Yeah, and beyond that, those are like the 2 official things. And beyond that, it's running a lot of the R.A.I.D Kickstarters. I want to actually kickstart my own Kookaburra, which is a webcomic I did years ago. I want to finally collect that into some editions. I have about 200 pages online, and another 100 I have left to illustrate. So I'd like to kind of.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I'd like
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. The fan base is very active still and enthusiastic about the project. So I'm really just excited to return to that. It kind of got sidelined after, life and opportunity kind of my way with work, and then adult responsibilities fall in your lap, and suddenly your extra time becomes very very precious.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then the last thing I'm doing is I'm actually working on a graphic novel called Payaso, which is basically clown in Spanish.
Oh.
And I'm actually writing this one with a plan to begin illustrating it in early 2022 with the fall release of 2022 as well. So those are the big 3 things on my plate, really.
That's a lot. That's for sure.
They've got me picked up for a while. So
good.
I'm very excited by all of them. And, one at a time, I'm chipping away at each one every week. So it's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Now, we've been talking about TCAF, and in addition to chatting with people at TCAF, it's about buying books. So where do you recommend people go to buy your books and the books that'll be produced by R.A.I.D?
Well, I mean, we have our online shop all the time at R.A.I.D.world, where we sell all our anthologies and a lot of the books produced by our members. So you'll have Cauldron in there, you'll have Ballyskillen, eventually you'll have Forest Folk. I took over a Kickstarter. I'm not sure if you know Rachel Ritchie from Comic Syrup Press, who did the Johnny Canuck collection years ago.
Yeah.
I took over the Mr. Monster Kickstarter.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which had run kind of dormant. So that book is at the printer and will most likely be released. We were hoping to have it in time of TCAF, but unfortunately, the printers are just extremely busy right now, and we won't have the book in our hands till most likely early July. So we'll have that book in our store, and any project we do, we have it in our store. As for the TCAF, we'll have a selected bunch of our items in the TCAF store that I'm not sure of the URL for the event, but I'm assuming if you check out torontocomics.com, you'll find out more about that.
Thanks to Ramon for the chat. You can discover more about Ramon on Twitter at the Ramon Perez and online at RamonPerez.com. You can discover more about the Royal Academy of Illustration Design on Twitter at the R.A.I.D Studio and online at R.A.I.D.world. And thanks to you for listening to the True North Country Comics podcast. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to and like this podcast on Apple Podcasts. And please leave a good rating. Also check out the TrueNorthCountryComics.com website and follow along on Twitter at True North Comics. True North Country Comics is now on YouTube. Please like and subscribe to that video channel. Please send your feedback to John at TrueNorthCountryComics.com. Thanks again for listening, and come back soon for another episode. Bye for now. True North Country Comics Podcast is copyright True North Country Comics, copyright 2021.